Can we stress free? We don't worry. Can we stress free? We don't worry. Now let's go. Come on, let me get on the floor. Come on, let me go. Come on.
Good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of Dissect. I go by the name of Novelist.
And I go by the name of Jewel.
And of course, we have a band in the house. They say they're stress free, they're giving you love. Lately, they've been causing controversy. Man, they've been putting pressure tests, all types of things. I don't know what else to say about this band, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome Signal Band to episode 10 of Dissect. What's going on, gentlemen?
Yeah,
Good
man.
night,
Good night to the viewers of Dissect, viewers and listeners. You know, it's a pleasure to be here. Let's get the show on the road.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure to have you, Mr. Shelly, again with us. Let's go ahead and introduce the rest of the family. That's the first time on Dissect. You know what, Shelly? Let's just start with you and just work the thing down.
Okay, well, you know, I'm Shelly, lead singer, co-founder of Signal Band, and yeah, I've been here from inception and still going strong here. I'm ready to dissect the thing. Let's go.
Niceness. Who we have next? Jelani, I guess. Introduce
yeah.
yourself.
Good night, everyone. Jelani Robinson here, band manager, been with the band for the past 6 to 7 years. So yeah, let's dissect the thing. Even if you start us on a very dishonest note, yeah. The first song wasn't anything we asked for, but we'll do that. We'll do that. All right.
We started from jump. It's all good. It's
Yeah,
all good.
we'll believe that we'll dissect it just one. All right.
All right. All right. Let's move around. I guess Liam.
Yeah, Novelist. Good night, everybody. And Liam Sebastian, the road manager. But I just come. I just come, but I've been working with the band for a while. So I'm a road manager, and as Julian and Shirley say, to dissect the thing.
Nice.
All right.
Welcome. Mr. Daniel, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Daniel Green, stage name Dins. I'm the lead keyboardist, founding member, and the music producer for the band.
Okay, nice. And the man, not the vocalist of the band, the man Anwar.
Good night, everybody. My name is Anwar Cadet, also known as Wawa. And yeah, I've been with the band for about 4 to 5 years, and I'm ready to dissect the thing.
I was going to call him something. I was going to say he has a different title, but we'll leave that for later in the show.
we'll dissect that later. We have a lot of things to dissect.
True.
First of all, we started we'll just start there since we started with stress free. The clips of videos I've been seeing. I watched one video earlier. I think it was you in Owawa where you push the girl outside by your head. I'm loving the vibes, man. I'm loving the vibes. Let's talk about stress free. Are we talking real life experience here, or where does the motivation for that, the inspiration for that song come from?
Well, yeah, it's real life experience. I mean, at the end of the day, people faced with different situations in life, and like we try to let everybody know that no matter how hard or tough whatever it is you face in life, I mean, you can only control what you can control, and you have to live your life as stress free as possible. And it goes
both male and female. Even for our band, I mean, even though people may say what they want, people may do what they want, but at the end of the day, I mean, we know we're stress free. We know what we have to do.
Right. I like that.
I agree. I agree with
So
that.
let's go back to the beginning of Signal. Where and how and what time did Signal Band start? Like, how did this whole Signal Band thing came along?
Well,
Maybe
it
Shelly
was
want
about
that.
it was about 5:30 p.m. on August. Just kidding. To be honest, the band started off. I guess it's a miracle story that I'm going to try to dissect and
Right.
concise at the same time. I'm not sure how I'm going to really work. But in 2010, um, when I was in third form, then was in second form. We were kind of babies, you know. We were doing our thing on my grandmother's porch, and you know, we used to meet to play. But officially, there was a friend of ours that also went to SMA. I was going to SMA. Duns was going to grammar school. Duns' brother, Darren, also going to grammar school at that time, and one colleague was older than us, more in Jelani generation, Mosiah. He told Duns that, you know, we should put a band together and whatnot, and he was willing to link up somebody for the band house. Duns immediately linked me because that we were honestly always on the porch, just banging on my grandmother table. She used to sell the sweeties, and so we started, and you know, they started to pull resources of other singers. At that time, I was just playing the guitar. I was maybe the first guitarist in the world to control the drum machine, right? Right, then.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And that's when I was controlling the drum machine. We couldn't figure out if Duns or his brother was the lead keyboardist or the backup. It was a mess. And at that point, we were practicing a lot of soca for the entire summer of 2010. Practice a lot of soca. We still were not Signal Band. We were just a band meeting to practice in Cross Street, in Roseau.
Right. Trying to
thing. And when the summer was about to end on August 21st, and I remember we got a gig, but we didn't have a name. And a few of us went by Nai out of WCK fame, and we were telling him we didn't have a name for the band.
Right.
And Nai was playing his Xbox or PlayStation or whatever console it was at the time, and some connection went bad, and then his TV show No Signal, and Nai was like, you know, Nai stomach, so he was like, blood. That is the name. Looking at Signal, and that was it. From that day, we have been Signal Band, and August 21st, 2010.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's where that little TV screen comes from. That all right. Now I understand. Get it.
So after okay, so you guys, what was that first gig? You remember what that first gig was? Where, like,
Yeah, that was at Myers Bar in Buffett State.
whose bar?
Myers Bar, Buffett State.
Oh, okay. Oh, so just a
that
little
was,
thing.
Yeah, there's a little thing.
The next day we had a big gig. The next day we had a big gig. After that was a Friday, and the Saturday we had a big gig.
Okay. What was that big gig?
Cabana Beach, Marigot. Cabana Beach, Marigot. Yeah.
I exaggerated. It wasn't that big, but it was a big gig.
That is why I asked you the question like that. You know, like, okay.
One we got going slippers and hunting, short pants and that kind of thing there.
Yeah. That time we didn't have it together. You know, I remember.
But at all.
I wouldn't lie. I borrowed Darren my slippers that night to perform. You know, we were performing in slippers and short pants normal.
Your business out there, Darren. Oh my gosh.
Darren, don't just sit there and take that. You know,
right?
We have your back. We'll just shut off his signal over there. We're good. All right, go ahead, Jules. Sorry.
So Shelly, you being in the States, how has it been creating music with the band? Like, you're away from the rest of the band. How has it been creating the music? Do you have any projects working on right now?
Yeah, to be honest, as soon as like a few seconds before the interview, I was in the studio virtually with Duns and Stasha, and then called Jelani to talk about the same project. So the work, I mean, we in 2022, and the internet runs the world, technology runs the world. So
right.
it seems very seamless, the collaboration between us, Anna would call, I would call, and voice notes and everything makes the production possible. So producing with the band has never been more difficult or easier. Yeah.
Okay. So knowing that, well, you just said you were with the band recently. So is it something that you're working on for Carnival 2022 in Dominica to do a virtual event? Or is that a surprise?
There is surprise. I just think it's too early to hold that. In the,
Yeah,
early
right.
in the show.
We don't want to dissect that yet. Okay. All right.
Later on.
Okay.
She have enough times. All right. So since we don't want to dissect what's coming now, let's talk about controversy a little bit. Why the name controversy in the first place? Anyone?
Wait, I know Ajelani.
Noah?
The
Okay.
controversial
Who
people.
came up with
The
the name? Who
controversial
came up
people
with
can
it?
answer.
How's that?
The controversial people can answer. I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth. All right.
Okay,
So who
since he's
came?
in the States, he can plead the fifth. All right.
That sounds like guilty conscience. So, who
Talk to
came up with?
management.
Okay, management. You have his man in front of the camera. Yeah, you wanted to dissect certain things in the panel idea, who came up with the name controversy and why controversy?
Um, I can't remember who actually came up with the name.
Sheldon.
Sheldon, I understand you. I can't remember.
But the name really is I think for us for the past 2 to 3 years we are on a different, I would say, mission in terms of what we want to achieve. I mean, so we know controversy sells, and sells in the form that no matter what it is, once it's controversial, people will jump onto it, and we feel that we need to make some sort of statement, and there are a lot of things that we could have addressed, and even in the promotion of the album for us, I think we blew it out of proportion because people really thought the album was going to be attacking people one on one and stuff like that. And it just shows that anything to do with that kind of topic, that people gravitate towards it a lot easier than all those nice fancy names where anybody love and all this thing. People will say, yeah, it's a good thing, but the attention you want, you have to figure out what is the best way for marketing. So the name was really just 100% because we wanted that extra push in the marketing of it, to be honest.
Right. And you did mention that the word controversial and will just bring attention no matter what, and you did say that. So
Yeah,
how successful was the launch of that album?
um, not just the launch. I think the album on the whole has been a success. I think people need to understand the word success. Success is it only depends on what is your goal.
Exactly.
So for you, maybe as a listener, you may not like the album because it is not fitting for you. But
Right.
we as a band, we always sit down. We don't just. I don't think for the past, I would say, 7, 8 years, this band has ever done something without properly sitting down and planning. So anything we put out there is not by any mistake. So we
Right.
know exactly what we want from it. So I can say safely that for the past 5 years, I don't think we have had much failures because we sit down and as we on the show, we dissect what we want to do first.
Right.
We go down in the nitty gritty of it. So in terms of being a successful album, I think it has done a lot more than we expected
Right.
because, like, I was telling one person one day that they said to me that they don't like the album because it doesn't really suit them. And then one day later, they come and say, "Oh boy, there's 2 songs on the album I like." I say, "Well, that means our job is done because the album wasn't really catering for your sort of market, but yet still there are 2 songs on the album which you like. So which
Right.
means we were able to get what we wanted and still keep what we have. So at the end of the day, I think it was a very successful project."
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Great. Yeah. So you told us a little bit about controversy. What about Bouillon Vax? Tell us about that.
to in front. Take your time. Go back. You're going backstairs. You to in front.
Okay, so we don't want to talk about Booyah Vax
Okay.
until
That's another one you
let's
don't
say
want to talk
until the half of the show. So let's say
Yeah, after
Yeah.
7:30
half time, after half time.
after.
I'm sorry, second one.
Okay,
Oh,
so
wow.
since we're gonna be on controversy still,
Mhm.
you mentioned something about how you guys you take your time to actually do your music, and I can tell. Um, listening to a lot of different music myself, you could really tell when somebody take the time to create a craft or when somebody just jump in the studio and just do something. So I want to touch on that person you said that they listen to the album and they figure, nah, it doesn't really fit with me, but the next day, boy, I like two songs. Would you say it's one of those albums that grows on you, like you have to listen to the thing and resonate to it?
Um,
Shelly, go ahead now.
okay, yeah, I was just going to say that you see, music is a relationship between a messenger, a message, and then a listener.
Right.
And the reason why the album seems like it may have to grow on an individual, on the listener, is
Mhm.
because they are not used to that kind of message from the messenger.
Right.
But really and truly, some people might think that is by mistake. Maybe the messenger not sure what they're doing and with that message that they send in. Um, or it might not be the right listener, as Jelani said. That listener, it may not be for them. The message might not be for them. But I think ultimately, the slow progress of the album, for some people, is more associated with the fact that the message, they're not used to that message from that messenger. They used to Signal Band being about love and positive vibes and
Right.
Hug, hug. After that, you can hug and kisses.
yeah, hugs and and by love.
Hug and kisses.
Yeah. So but we really had to show that we can do both.
Right.
Being a band in Dominica is not the easiest thing, you know.
Mhm.
It's not the easiest thing. And even if you hold your corner, somebody will come and pull you and tell you, yo, you're not there to spectate you in the boxing ring. Let's
Yep.
box. And we couldn't go and box with anybody you love. Anybody
Right.
you love like this like a winter glove. You
Yeah.
put it for it to feel warm and nice. But we needed a boxing
Yeah.
glove so we get
Right.
controversy,
Okay.
Yeah, straight up.
So what? So
So
was it?
before you go on, so you realize music contribution fella, they know.
Well, I plead the fifth, but yeah,
You
I know what you mean.
understand where controversy really coming from.
Right.
Uh-huh.
It's sometimes you just have to dissect a
But you
little bit
dissect
deeper,
it,
right?
get the truth.
And
Yeah.
it will come out.
So I know what's your whole vibes on controversy, because you sit down there and you're the lead vocalist, we're not hearing from you. You know.
Well,
What-
the thing for me for controversy was, from time the discussion happened, I was excited to do the album
Mm.
because I've always wanted to do something controversial. Because
Okay.
as Shelly states, Angela states, we live in a country that once somebody hears the word controversy or anything to that direction, they automatically gravitate towards it.
Right.
And when we sat down to start to put together the concepts or the different type of songs that we were going to bring out on the market, I was actually smiling and sharing some great ideas. Okay, you know what?
Hmm.
Let's try this. Let's go this direction because I figure, okay, if we touch a little bit on the sexy ladies, because people know us for being about the nice band and and being
Right.
loved. So I was like, you know what?
Hug and kisses and one. I didn't know what
Yeah,
for.
also
Hugs and
kisses,
kisses.
you know, yeah. So I was like, let's touch on the sexy ladies. Let us touch on on the other band and the other things going around. Let's
Right.
get the controversy rolling. And from the get go, from the mid start, yeah, that was it. Everybody just jump on board, and as you know, Dominicans like excitement, they like vibes. So yeah, it was a great success. I
So
I will look I'm looking forward to the controversy part two.
oh,
Trust
so
me, I know that.
So we know who playing devil's advocate now, yeah?
Oh yes.
One by
Novelist,
one, you know them. One by one, they'll come out. Don't worry.
novelist,
One by one.
novelist, the other person that quiet but part of it low
Liam,
key.
Liam, tell us the controversy, Liam.
No,
Yeah,
but you see,
Others, let's hear from the
usually,
others.
usually the quiet ones is the time bomb, you know.
no, it's not quiet. You know, the thing is, as Jelani said earlier, everything that is done, plan it properly. So to plan
Right.
something, everybody have to be involved. So not just because you're not seeing people on the stage, you don't have mic in there and don't think that we're
Right.
not part of it too. The controversial
Of course.
business, everybody involved in it. Because
Right.
as you say, the bad stories and the negative energy that Dominicans like. So once
Right.
we there and we talk about controversy part two, that are difficult to achieve, you know, it's just collecting voice notes. You know. We collecting voice notes, and once you collect voice notes, you just know it's still gonna roll and people gonna check where that come up. No, we still don't know the voice notes coming up, but you know, but if it is something there. So now it's that easy to happen. At the end of the day, our signal band from one thing I appreciate with the guys on it is that it's an inclusive effort. A project or something wouldn't come out without basically everybody's input. So even if it's a row or it's a love thing, whatever the situation is, everybody will give their piece. I mean, not everything is taken on board all the time, but at the end of the day, it's a group effort, and that is one thing that I really appreciate with the group. So the controversial part, we talk about somebody being quiet, but you have a next one that quiet, they are not saying anything there. Don't
Yeah.
watch him swing it to him.
I see you just sticking one position like that. Like, don't
Yeah.
let me start.
No,
Like
I was listening.
his screen is frozen.
I was listening.
Internet problems, right? Yeah, internet, Wi-Fi or something.
So what is the inspiration for this? Well, you see, you talked about the fact that people jump on controversy, but was there a discussion that was happening amongst you one day where you came up with this controversial title? What was the inspiration for it?
People were
Besides the
discussing
fact
us.
that, yeah.
Before Shelly go and give you a nice painted answer, I'll give you the wrong.
The diplomatic.
Okay, the bottom line is in Dominica, for bands especially, I think we have a serious problem where people figure for you to be recognized as a big band, you have to be 35 and up, like in terms of age. You know, I don't think people pay enough respect to the younger generation in terms of what we bring forth. You know, and Sheldon and Daniel have had the big part to play in the whole, I would say, modernization of blues music. You know, all these tones and all these things. I mean, I can say it's safely that between the two of them, there are about 4 albums. They have created for Triple K Band. And that has gone unnoticed and unrecognized. And at the end of the day, we came forward with an event called Illumination. And the reason behind that was similar to what the reason is behind controversy. That for people to respect you in this place, you have to put your foot down. And you're not going to get respect from people by saying anybody. You have to show people that you're a big man and you can do your own thing. And if you step on my toe, I'll answer you. So that was the key behind it. And then if you also listen to the introduction of the album with all these voice notes, I mean, for the past 5 years, I want people to understand these voice notes will not last year voice notes. These voice notes have been there for 5, 6 years. When we were seeing Anybody Love and we were singing Hugs and Kisses, people attacking us for no reason. People getting down, on us. I know, and at some points, we used to ask ourselves like, but for what? We're not doing anything, we're not troubling anybody. And as you get older, you realize that people fear you for your potential.
Right.
And a lot of people here, and I would say safely, bands here, and I'll also say safely, the only musician here I could safely say I respect is Mr. Keith Gordon. He was the only guy to walk up to me and Sheldon and say, guys, I personally cried on you guys for such and such, but you guys proved me wrong. And I want to say, even if you may not know, but I'm sorry. Keith Goddard was the only person. Up to like today, you have people they call it pioneers, and every time you hear him talk, it's criticism here, criticism here. So I realized in this industry, people cry on a lot of things when they see you have the potential to do better than them.
Right.
Because there's a nice saying, I want you to do good but not better than me. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Truth.
so
Mm-hmm.
that is basically the inspiration behind controversy. We want people to understand that we are no longer the pushovers. We're no longer going to make redeems and give it to people, and then they're gonna go on the road and say, "Yeah, Mr. Killer, you're number one." No, those days are over. Those things are done. We're gonna come. We're gonna put our foot down. We're gonna work hard and show people that Signal is 10 years old, but Signal music has had an powerful impact in Dominica even before the band was and is who it is now. And I think it's about time that we need to start respecting people for what they do, and nothing wrong in telling people good job and giving people their own recognition. So the inspiration was wide. It wasn't just a specific thing. It's years of collecting. Like Shelly, what we say, we're collecting data for years. We're collecting for years. It's so it just came together finally that we decided enough is enough. Who vex, loss. That was
That's
basically
right.
the whole thing going on.
Boy,
Right.
Go
well, if
diplomatic, Shelly, Go diplomatic.
Mood. No, I cannot. Obviously, after that, I cannot go and paint over that.
well,
Sure.
after that, the interview should have end right there. Like,
Yeah, to the
Yeah,
point.
that
exactly.
Yeah,
explained
yeah.
that
That
explained
was
everything.
actually a question that I had. Knowing that you came up with this album and you were fearless in when you did it, and I feel that you are forced to be reckoned with now, even more so now, because you didn't hold back on what you had to say. And I think you will be respected even more so because you spoke the truth, and you brought the controversy out, and you laid everything on the table, and there's nothing to hide. So I think the respect will be there even more so.
But I think from this group as well, I think what we have accepted, and one thing we have Shirley has always said to me from early on when I came on, that Jay, they don't have to like us, but they will respect us. You
Right.
know, and moving, for the past couple of years, we have just had that mentality, that because there are people we try to interact with, we ask questions. I mean, I can safely say every time I call somebody to be on Illumination, their price goes up by five.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, we know that you look at us on a different level, and that's fine. But this one thing I always say, and up to day before I told you, man, at the end of the day, we don't have to go out and kiss anybody behind.
Mm-hmm.
But once we do the business right, they will come back. And when they come back, we will remind them that 3 years ago, when it was that price, they didn't like it. So
Mm-hmm.
hard work. And I think that that works well for us. At the end of the day, half of the people we interact with, especially in this industry, they may not personally or genuinely like us, but they will do the work.
That's right. You set a
And that's
precedence,
fine.
and they have
Once they
this.
do the
You
work,
set
that's
the
fine.
bar high, and that's what it is. It is what it
Yeah, and,
is.
that, and that's just how it is. And I think every single one of us here on this live from this band could care less what they have to say, to be honest. And that's the
And
most
Yeah,
important.
Like that.
yeah.
and
And
honest, go ahead.
I mean, also to add to that, when the album dropped, I mean, the fans, the Signal fans, you actually you got there. It's like we were able to give them a voice,
Hmm.
because like the fans were like, yes, finally, my band coming out and do what they have to do. Because I mean, we have some supporters who are very loud, and then we
Yeah.
still have some supporters who were just waiting for us to just, as we say, cross that line
Yeah.
so that they could even be even more vocal,
Hmm.
to let people know, what, that is my band and this is why I support my band. And we will continue to grow. I mean, the album itself, from my point of view, I saw it brought out the growth of the band members, because all of us realized, what, that if we don't take that step and we just stay timid and quiet, I mean, we
Yeah.
wouldn't get anywhere. So, I mean, with the backing of Jelani, let me tell you, you can do anything. Can't you see? Once when the children are behind you, you can fly. You can feel like you can fly. So
Nice.
I
Back
mean,
your manager. Back
yeah,
your manager.
That's that man is driven. That's a good thing. But if people don't send stone behind you, you don't exist.
sure.
You know what I mean? So when to me, like I'm the type of person. If you tell me something negative, I smile and you might think, "But Mr. the Madman," because I'm already dissecting the positive in your negative message. Right? Like I had a conversation with one of our booking agents for Dissect today, and I'm like, if you up there, why would you send Stone behind somebody that behind you? It's obviously that person behind you is troubling you. So you have to stop and turn around and send Stone behind them.
Check what's in front of you.
What's in front too?
Check what in front of
Yeah,
you.
you.
If I'm a
Yeah.
rabbit, I see the finish line. I know I roasting the potato. That by looking back and look for, I'm gonna win. From the gun go off, he's still there. I already over there. So, but you guys are getting places. That's why your name will be called. That's why people will attack you. And
Absolutely.
you guys for that 10 years, you could see the chemistry between you guys. You can see it's real. You guys look like you go through the war together and smile it out. And yay, controversy too. But after the vax, yeah. So can we go to the vax now? I mean, it's halftime.
Yeah. It is halftime.
Or we still want to cause a little
No,
controversy?
we could go anywhere, no man. It's half time. We can do anything.
Because after we say about controversy there, boy, I mean, that was enough said, right? All right. Let's go into the vaccination of the Booyah now. What is that about? What's the Booyah vax? What is it? When is it coming out? Wet? Inform us.
I want some.
I
I want an injection. I want an injection.
We'll get you as a booster.
Come and take your job.
Come and take your job.
Come and take your job.
No, honestly, that is another one that I named, and I can say honestly my personal reason before I even bring it to the band. The meds I was on was about the lack of respect for musicians that was amplified during this pandemic. I think during the pandemic, we actually can see blatantly and very clearly that nobody cares about us. But they don't understand our power. And I never shared that to the guys, so that's the first time they're going to hear that too. But poetically, really and truly, the Booyah Vax just trying to show that you can promote Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, whatever, but what the people want is the Booyah Vax. And if you use the Booyah as an incentive and you was treating the Booyah better, maybe more people have been vaccinated by now. And that is literally what I was thinking. I was just like, the lack of respect for us. People don't understand the power of Booyah music and the power of the entertainers in Dominica. So, they're telling everybody get vax. But the moment you tell them get vax,
the entertainers don't know their power.
What's that?
The entertainers don't know their powers.
Exactly. The entertainers don't know their power. And the moment that, like, we have been asked to go on vaccination drives and all of these things, I'm fully vaccinated, I can tell anybody. But I will not go on and encourage somebody to get vaccinated if it's not in my interest. And the people are asking me to go on the drive, not showing me that they have my interest at heart. So why would I put myself in that? So that one is about a centralized focus. What we care about is the Booyah, and everybody that unvaccinated right now, they're waiting for the Booyah vaccine. Right?
That's right.
So when they get the Booyah vaccine?
No, that is another story by itself.
Question don't leave the airport now.
What happened?
I find Noble is more interested in that than everybody else.
Boy, you see, I'm not a medical man, okay?
And it's just funny that the quest that 3 days ago the answer was different. But I'm not sure if you're seeing it, Novelist, but right now we basically controlling the attention of the people for the last 3 days through the sideman, the life of a sideman.
Yes.
And 17-second video.
Just 17 seconds going out there viral, doing thing. And that was one of the ingredients of the Booyah Vax. That was one of the ingredients, yeah. And just because of how that ingredient go viral, you have to.
What you change the food?
You have to
you change the food. Well, let me tell you, in layman's terms, we can give you a nice little bowl food soup. No, we can give you a pay now.
Random.
Yeah,
Random. Good.
but the energy difference and we have had to change our protocols basically. Basically, we had to change our protocols and right now,
So right now, Buya Box was one dose. Right now, it's
Yeah.
two.
yeah, we are basically.
Two doses.
That is why
I
you're the
just have a
manager.
booster. A booster
Any
might just
booster,
come
yeah.
But I finally am like a lot of remixing on Booster. You want to have controversy too.
Don't worry, tricky
You
eye,
know,
tricky eye.
that's how it
No,
is. You know, you see, is the fluidness of the band operating. It's like we were just on Johnson and Johnson, and we decided one dose. And then after checking, like, oh, that Johnson and Johnson can give a blood clot, so we have to make sure everything is healthy. And we come in for a second dose, and then, yeah, it just so it going. And then imagine every day, every boy just checking when that coming out, when that coming out, and we don't even know it coming out.
I think that's the most funny part about it. We don't know any coming out.
Yeah. And I remember the day that I sent the name in the group, that was the argument, you know. Fellas had to ask 2 doses. Liam was the one that say, Father, that is Johnson and Johnson, 1 dose. And then, but this week though, fellas change it up, protocol change, you know, we'll be monitoring the new variants and things. So
Yeah.
And that one, like, Omicron, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Pretty fast.
Yeah.
The new variant is on my way, Omicron.
On my way, Omicron.
But you know, as we done that, Shelly, I think the Buya vax will come out soon, but the first dose of the vaccine have to come out. I think Shelly wants to know something, you know.
But yeah, so we have fans one day, and you know, and keep asking, not even asking at this point, fans telling us when to release.
But they still have to, go ahead.
Like right now, we lose the power of our own music. Fans, I waking up the messages now of fans saying, hurry up and release. It's not about, hey Shelly, when is that song going to be released? Right now it's hurry up. Right now, so we just want to announce that on Friday, the 28th of January, the first dose of the Buya vax will be administered. So come and get your jab on Friday. On YouTube.
Roll up your sleeve.
So is this the official word?
But hold on, you also have to tell the people how long before the second shot.
How long did it? Oh no, yeah. There's a 2-week period.
A 2-week period.
Before you can take your second dose.
I hope you got the answer you wanted. The whole night you're looking for it. I hope you got the answer.
I was inquiring for somebody else. I just to clarify.
To be honest, the second dose might come with the booster, because if in a second come going and coming, you might just add the booster to the second.
Yeah, super vax.
Boom. One time.
People are craving it.
And a variant might just come in between there, and so let's do that one time.
You see all that controversy started all that. Now people telling you when you have to release music because they listen to controversy so much, they already know the whole album and they're checking, all right, what's next?
What's next?
Yeah, but you sitting down there checking, you're gonna get them free dose, and that is it. By summer, I think Signal will be working on the on controversy too, right, Liam?
I see a problem.
You just been all meeting, man. You just been all meeting, man.
You was in the band meeting, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you see what has happened is the Signal, man, is the Signal. You check, it just
It's strong.
It's strong. Yeah. That Signal not easy to dissect. That's strong.
No, it's strong. It's not no kind of Xbox kind
Very
of
strong.
thing. Check. Yeah, it's a 767 Signal. Yeah, and we don't need video and audio for that.
Right.
You have mentioned a song, Sideman. I wanted to touch on that earlier, actually. Boy, Sideman, Shelly. What?
Me again, but I just sing it.
Go to the right place.
Is you?
Hold on.
Go to the right place.
I will go in front. I will come back to Shelly.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
only thing I would say, and I would say it with all my heart. Since I've known Shelly for over 15 years, about 15 years, my best, right? That's my boy.
Yeah.
And every single song he has put his love and heart into and
Yeah.
sang about himself is a hit. And that sideman thing, not no different. That is the kind of energy I getting from him. I feel like he's singing about his true life stories.
Yeah.
I feel
Let's
that is why
dissect it right now.
that's why
Let's
he likes it,
dissect.
and he's feeding it, and that's why he's afraid to talk about it. But
Yeah.
Shelly, the floor is yours. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Shirley, because them song they hit in home, and usually you're right, Jelani. When songs hit home, it coming from a deep place. Yeah, Shirley.
But I'm telling you.
No, but the song doesn't necessarily have to come from my home to your home. I could be on the road sending it to your home. And
Where you
I
get it?
feel
Where you
like
get it?
that one there coming from the road, not from my home. That from my house. But that one was a funny one because it's been a while that I go with my first instinct of the first thing I hear. And big up Liam, because Liam is the one that fetched that idea. So maybe deep down he had that idea too. So we can go into that.
That is where it starts.
Yeah, so speak up, Liam.
Because the thing with Liam now, he just he sideman thing, that kind of thing. Okay, all right, good. I understand.
So for example, Liam is the road manager in the band, but Liam is one that his brain always go in. So he hears something or he think of something or he go through his personal situation, he will message Duns and say, boy, so on my way come.
What you say, personal situation?
Personal situation, yes.
Okay, just making sure.
He actually sent that one. He actually sent that one to me as an idea.
Okay.
And then so I told him to link with Mask Man, make a thing, make something happen, and then that one came. That one was last minute, to be honest, and see how well it's doing now.
Yeah, and the first time we jump on a Zoom call, then share screen, share the audio, and I hear that, and I was just like, baby,
that's
me
like me. That's like my lifestyle.
I say, tell me if the coast is clear, because I'm on my way.
No, say the first thing you say. Say the first thing you say. What do you hear that?
well, since you know myself, tell me what I say.
The guy Duns was there. When you had to read it, the first thing you say was, boy, I feel like a nastiness has to come on that.
Yeah. But I did say that I feel something nasty on that. I see kind of like there's something nasty.
It's about self. It reflects self.
So Jelani, I'm something nasty then.
Brother, what you think about what you are. Simple as that.
All right.
You see, Mr. Green there will tell the truth, because he's quiet. I suspect he just soak up all the information, and I think that's who we need to target.
A sponge.
Yeah,
the referee.
Yeah. I suspect he have a lot of things he need to get off his chest. But so yeah, Shelly, for real. With no, I know we're clowning around, and we're talking about Sideman, but for real, Sideman, By Your Love. The other one I was watching the video.
Baby Come Back.
Baby Come Back.
Yeah.
You have something to tell us there. Maybe you have a friend that's going through a situation that
really need to let talking go. About that is him. That's him. Mm-hmm. No friend.
No friend.
No friend.
Well, you know what, Shelly? It working. Keep it going.
Exactly. I'm a man that I'm full of love, and sometimes I give love and I get disappointments, and music, and that's just what it is. Sometimes I amplify my story to make it seem like I really at a devastating point, but really and truly I did. Yes, Liam, yes.
Oh boy.
My
dog. Sometimes if I get two of something, I say any six I get. You like going around telling the world like how much go well. Nobody knows the real number. Maybe Jelani think he knows, because he has been my friend for a lot of years. But really and truly,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
novelists,
With that, with
they,
that.
they,
I,
I mean, I don't
I
know.
know, I know it's strained. I know it's strained a little bit, but what's up with that? All right, Joe. Gopel
I
means
just
tabanka or horn, right? So
Horn. Yes, Trini say
yeah.
horn.
Oh boy. So Shelly, how much Gopel you can get? I for the only allow one, I for Gopel like
You have a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot. And he still say that as well.
no,
He still say that.
no, go well, not like chicken pox. Now you can get it again.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, no, that don't like chicken pox. That's not.
I thought, I thought it was a one-time thing, man.
No, man.
Oh
Some
boy.
people, you see, some people fortunate that they learn from their mistakes and their situations, but I don't learn yet.
So
I
you
just
stupid. So you don't.
it's not about stupid. I'm allowing myself to bask in love. I give my all, and if they take it and do magic with it, I get hurt.
Yeah.
The heart is forever healing. It always
It
repairing
heals
itself.
itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't
Well
need to
said.
see no
Well said,
Novelist,
Well said.
novelist, that's where the songs come out. I realize I going deep within myself to get these
Yeah,
things.
bro. All jokes,
Push.
all jokes aside, I've always told you that you're a brilliant musician. Not just a writer or a singer. You're a brilliant musician. So I respect you guys' work. I respect your work. I respect Signal work. And I mean, you guys are doing a wonderful job, and keep it up, man. Like if it's coming from a good place, if it's coming from there or a partner or wherever it's coming from, just keep it coming. You know what I mean? So most definitely. Boy, I dropped
Yep.
some tears there tonight.
You
uh, so we know this whole COVID thing has been a challenge for everyone, and like you said, it has shown a lot of weakness to a lot of musicians. Like they just really don't know what to do with themselves. You guys have been dropping music, and you guys have done a few live where the band is in Dominica, but Shelly, you're out of the country, and it's like, how the hell does that work?
Technology.
Well,
Yeah, like
well,
technology, like how we doing it now,
Technology.
like, but to be like music to be in sync with like
all right.
I
Let me tell you how it works. I think a lot of things that I think you and Liam on the same page because sometimes Liam is even baffled as well, and he's part of the band.
yeah,
I want to give credit to the guys in the band. You know what I mean? I think I think they deserve it because the kind of heads we have when it comes to creativity and technology, it's second to none. Um, a lot of people wouldn't know, but a lot of the things we do, we do it in-house. When I say in-house, I mean graphics. Right now we do the last live we did was recorded by us, editing and all these things. So I think it has a lot to do with with guys being so inclined to technology. I can boast that everybody in the band has some level of degree when it comes to reading music as well. So that's how musically inclined the band is. So anything to do with music, I don't think it's beyond our reach.
right,
Having Shelly perform when sometimes he's not there it just comes down to bring. I mean the tools are there. You just have to be able to use it, and I think that's one of the advantages we have being born in this generation that we're always learning, we always see new things when it comes to technology and guys in the band like Daniel and his brother Darren, they always exploring, they're always exploring new things. Shelly by herself as well, always up to something when it comes to the internet and stuff like that. So I think that's a brilliant blend, because myself and Liam, we are more like on the ground. We more of, I would say, like lack of better word, we are more of the hustlers. But when it comes to the whole creative aspect, I think this band is a joy. It is a joy to be part of, especially when it comes down to this whole creativity. Sometimes I sit down and I tell you, boy, that band talented. And it's because I just be hard on them. They don't get it a lot from me because I always tell them that the first message I ever sent to this band when I came was, guys, at some point your talent have to pay you. This thing about you talented, I can't cut it. I mean, right now, I'm not even don't make Green them trying to get back a winner team because cricket is my thing.
Right.
Shelly, Shelly, and everybody else doing what they have to do right now. Guys in the band making money outside of the band because of their talent. So it's something
Right.
I instilled in the band from day one. That, guys, you're talented. It's not just about being talented. You have to make it pay you. At the end of the day, you want to be able to you want to be another musician that the only time people hear about you is when they have done make a music awards and then
Yeah.
you don't have a host. You don't have
Yeah.
you, them thing don't cut it. The reality is we look up to all sorts of musicians around the world and all of them are well off.
True.
And I think it's high time that musicians here understand that this music thing is not about walking on the road and say, hey, what's up, Shelly? No. This is about Shelly cut past driving something, or Shelly could say, guys, meeting at my house tonight, drinks on me. This is
Right.
what this is supposed to be about. And so for me, Shelly not being here and performing them things to us is light work. Because the kind of creativity we have and the kind of ideas we would bring forward as a group sometimes that's really baffled me that,
Mhm.
yo, how are you getting them things done? I remember once, just a fun thing that once we went live and whilst we live, Anwar singing, I seen Anwar on Facebook, Anwar is watching. I'm like, Anwar, you forget you see me, you can't be on Facebook now, you see me. And it's because we get so comfortable being able to do productions and do these things and just sit back and relax. And I think the most fun part about all of this is that 90% of them I can safely say will pre-recorded, but
Right.
because of how we promote it, because of how we deliver, people don't have a clue what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes Shelly really was at the show, but just at the time you watch it, there.
Right.
That is how
True.
it is.
Seeing how well you all work together, you collaborate well together. Do you ever think you would ever do something with another artist from another island or something like? You ever think about collaborating with another artist?
Collaboration wise, we have done a lot of collabs locally. We have also done a collab with Annie Tyler, with Marvin and Riddler. But one thing we do is we study music deep. We don't just say we're a band. And kudos to Shelly again. Shelly is a guy that studies his art form. And gone are the days where it was like we just jump on a collab because it sounds good because we're working with somebody.
Yeah.
The way the
Yeah.
industry works now, I could safely say that if it was beneficial, we would have maybe have a collab with every artist we had brought down for Illumination, like
Right.
Farmer, Dash, Korean. But you have to collabs now are different. It's not just a matter of going and say I have a song with that person. The person you're doing the song with has to bring something to the table, and you have to bring something in return. And right now, it's not even about financial. What you bring financially now is it's about market. It's about networking.
Right.
So doing a collab now is like if Shelly wants to do a collab, let's just say with Farmer. Farmer has to see a keen interest in getting a larger Dominican population to support him, whereas we get Trinidad to support us.
Right.
Before collabs used to be like a fame thing, so it was Farmer featuring Shelly from Dominican. But at the end of the day, no party get anything from that. So
Mhm.
Right.
collabs now are a bit different in terms of what you look for. So I mean the way we study the industry, I don't think are always enough, in terms of explaining why we do what we do and how we do it.
Mhm.
You know. I see a question from
Yes,
Nigel.
I
Can I
see it
answer
too.
that? How would
Would
like to
like
know
to
about
know more about
illumination?
Illumination.
Yeah.
How do you guys
Okay.
make that grow?
Okay,
Yeah.
I can safely say I will start by saying we got no help from government, no help from DDA on that project. So
Okay.
this was a project where we started, myself and Shelly, and it was simple. We sat down, we said, God, we need to find something that will allow us to be respected.
Mm-hmm.
And not one band, I can safely say, except Swinging Stars Lagos Street Jam,
Right.
not one band or artist before had something we could say that's their own,
Mm-hmm.
And we watch Marshall Mundi, you watch Ket, and all these people have their own signature event. The
Yeah.
event that when they finish that event, at the end of that event, if there's a pandemic for the rest of the year, they could
Right.
survive.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our whole thinking behind it. And obviously, being young, not having enough, I would say, material, we had to think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People question how we managed to bring Famanapi and all these people for Carnival. And I can simply say it's one thing. You just need to learn how to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Learn, once you can negotiate with these people, then it's easy because Farmer would tell us straight, Farmer didn't want to go back. Farmer Napi was in Dominica and Farmer was upset that he had to go at Carnival Tuesday. He wanted to stay for the entire Carnival. And then the
Right.
average person would say, how can we get a trainer in Dominica for Dominica Carnival?
Mm-hmm.
So we made the event grow because we started to understand that Carnival is not our thing anymore. Carnival is a Caribbean thing. And
Facts.
people want to experience different cultures. No matter how you spin it, Carnival is a business.
Mm-hmm.
And once you can get the business right, people outside will come to your place. So for Kerwin, for Destroy, it was even easier because when we got to them, they went to Farmer. And Farmer was like, yeah, best thing to do. And the only difficult thing about that is, and not even difficult, the saddest thing about that is that the people in authority don't support us. And when I say support is, I remember I can safely say after our first illumination, I remember Robbie Tong using illumination as one of his sales speech as Minister of Tourism. And I called him and told him, don't do that. Don't call my event. Don't talk about it. I don't
Right.
want you to talk about my event. Because we wrote to you guys and DDA government, they didn't see it fit because I guess to them it wasn't the idea. So who are these little boys to bring on a Trinidad artist for Carnival? So we
Mm-hmm.
never got that support because that is the kind of a mindset and culture we have here that if it's not done by the top, then we're not going to support who's doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
The
That was
reason
in
that
Buckaroo.
event I think kept growing and is growing is because we never tried to do something like somebody else. So I can say also Powder Fed was the same video morning. And we told ourselves that we will never bring powder to our event
Yep.
because not everybody wants to get dirty.
Yeah. True.
So we catered for a certain market, and while we doing that, we ensure that the entertainment was up to scratch. The
Right.
entertainment, it's just seamless, and then obviously take it onto the road. That's just a whole different experience. You start inside, you go outside, and when you go outside, you still have ropes up, and so we
Every
every time we think of how we could improve the event,
Right.
but the whole goal for Illumination was to ensure that at the end of the exercise, Signal Band will have something that we call their own.
Right.
We don't want DFT. Gone are the days of bands just going on the road for Jubilee, and then on Ash Wednesday, everybody come and say, "Yo, we own that song system this amount of money. We own that song system this
Yeah.
amount of money."
Mm-hmm.
We work with Adam songs. And after they like today, if I call Adam now, even if I'm also Dominic and I said Adam, I need a system set up tomorrow in that location,
Right.
Adam will not even question why I want this system. The first question is what time you want it for. Because for us it's about relationships as well. So along the way we build those relationships, we build the respect, and once you have relationships, then the event will naturally grow because the sponsors and the people on board will see them as part of it. As I'm here, I can say KFC, Heineken, these people have taken Illumination like it's their own.
Right.
So the event will only grow not just because of artists, but once you have people with a genuine interest and they
Yes.
see the results, then naturally to just be
Yeah.
bigger and bigger all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. They
Plus,
want to be part of it.
it's a band. We have the easiest thing to promote. It's a
Right.
band. It's
Yeah.
owned by a band that is growing. So as the band is growing, naturally whatever the band is part of will grow. So that
Uh,
is, I Nigel, I hope I answer your question.
Yes, you
yes,
answered.
Nigel. You
Well answered,
definitely.
Andrew.
You
Good
have to.
answer
You
that.
even have
Well,
to.
I go with Nigel now.
I can't listen. But you get bonus marks for that.
Bro, you said it twice, and actually I actually wanted to interrupt you when you said it at the beginning because I wanted you to say it again that you got no help from the government. That was like one of my favorite things you just said because I
Yeah, and
feel
you
like
see, people think, and you see, and the sad part about all of this, people actually think that DDA, DFC, the government, when you talk about tourism, like Shelly said earlier, I don't think they understand that we have just as a big role in tourism as anybody else.
of course,
Hmm.
of
Because
course.
at the end of the day, I remember when we picked up Farmer at the airport, myself and Sheldon. Farmer said, anytime this event is what it's supposed to be, in a few years, you're going to get people to leave Trinidad. Because guess what? The road in Dominica different.
Yep.
And I
Way,
think
way
we need to
different.
understand that Dominica Carnival, Monday on the road and Tuesday on the road, no carnival in the Caribbean can come
No,
close to what
they
we
all
have.
That's right.
yeah they
And Farmer, I remember Farmer coming back to do an event here and he met Sheldon and tell Sheldon like, what happened? Or you plan to bring me back? So I think people just need to understand that the tourism thing is bigger than just a boat coming in on the
oh yeah
bayfront.
oh yeah
It's
Yeah.
Yep.
deeper than that.
oh yeah
And it's until you don't understand the music, the entertainment, and the artists, and the artists don't respect themselves, the people in authority will not understand that this is a. I remember in October we had a meeting with DDA, and Cultural Association was talking about the event and how they want to put people on the event and whatever. And when Mr. Kelly Crab Ghost people finished talk, I say, Ghost, illumination cost me more than that to put up.
Hmm.
And he stayed shocked for about 2 minutes. I said, you're
Right.
talking about 100,000. I said, Ghost, illumination costs us 160, 170 to pull off. What you
Wow.
talking about $100,000 for Cultural semi-final? That is no money
Right.
compared to what I have to do. And he couldn't understand the level of investment that is being made. And that is why it hurt us. And that is why you will never find Signal Band ever under my watch kissing up to any politician, any government, anybody in authority, because we have done it the hard way.
Yeah.
As young men, we have done it the hard way. I remember when we started doing Sheldon and myself, we used our last dollar to pull to make sure that thing was a success because it came after Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It came after Mario, and we said by the hook or the crook, we're going ahead and do that. So that is why today or tomorrow you see people running on stage and doing things for government and wearing party colors. No, we will not be part of that because we know what it is to start from nothing and build up a brand. Straight
Facts.
Yeah.
up.
And then you appreciate your business more when you do your own thing anyway. You know what I
Definitely,
mean?
definitely.
It's your baby. And bro, like I love it because I find too many people think, oh, the government should help us and do this. The government, nah. Get a partner in your neighborhood. As long as you start, somebody's gonna be interested. Somebody's
Yep.
gonna see a way to make money off you. They're gonna join. Business
Mm-hmm.
is gonna flow.
I
Man,
remember Arden songs. One quick story for Arden, for example. When we started working with Crazy T, Carry
right?
FM songs. And
Mhm.
initially our first discussion was with Arden, and then we were young, so Crazy came on, with an offer to us, and we thought it was more profitable to us,
Right.
and I remember telling Arden, boy, we go with Crazy instead, and it didn't go to our liking, some bad blood, some tensions, well, fast because once again, we set our standard high because we spend our money, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So it didn't work out the way we wanted it. And then I went back to Adam, and Adam said one line to myself and Shelly. And up to the like today, we look at Adam as not just a partner, but as a friend. Adam watches and tell us he will never and he has never put us down because what he saw from us was business, and we reminded him of when he started with nothing.
Mhm.
And from since that day to today, if I have to go on the road and add in songs not on the road, we're not going on the road. Straight
Right.
up, we're
Nice.
not going on the road because that's the kind of relationship we have built, that's the kind of love and trust we have built with each other. And Adams, I can safely say Adams helped us grow the brand even more. And like you say, once you start somewhere, people will come on board and people will support.
Nice. Yep. That's true, man.
Absolutely.
You guys should be proud of yourself. 10 years in the business. I'm a Dominican and I know it's not easy dealing with Dominicans, especially in music, right? People will send words, people will do this and that, but you guys are on the right path. I still remember the first time I heard Signal, it wasn't even a Booyah song I heard. I think it was like a Kadas song, and that was I want to say 2007 or 2017, something to do with seven for sure. But it was a long no, I would say '07. It was a long time ago.
Not 07. We were not alive at 07, man.
It was an '07. So
It was
there was an
17.
album that 17.
17 makes more sense.
Yeah, whatever the first
We-
album was, it was the
We used
first
to take
album.
part in the
Signature.
What's the name of it?
it's a
Signature.
Kadas- It's a
Okay.
Kadas song. Maybe it's just like something for the NCCU Kadas Calypso competition.
Yeah,
as
most
well.
possibly for the
Yeah,
competition.
it had that NCCO, blah blah blah, NCCU, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but that was the first I heard. It wasn't Booyah, and hearing the Booyah, and when I heard Bio Love, I was like, yes, it's not the typical bang bang, and just it was different. I mean, I liked it. Then came in songs like
was bang bang.
Local, and those types. So you guys are doing
It
well,
was almost
But
man.
bang
before,
bang.
you know, anybody was a bang bang.
It was almost bang bang.
Shall I need to explain to him what was because you get away with
Shelly tonight.
murder. Shall
I
you get
just-
away with murder right now? Tell
I
the
feel like
people what Anibiola was a hot mess. Tell them.
I just feel like you dare to attack me personally, but
Dissect anything.
yeah, Anybody You Love was actually a bang bang song at one point. Really like 158 beats per minute. Sometimes I wish I can make a difference. Back and up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was me in my little own corner vibe in it when I started the composition.
I'm proud of that.
Yeah?
I'm proud of that.
No, I was wrong. I saw that for this. I said things.
We had that conversation before. Me and you had that conversation
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
And when I said it to Dins, and I was like, Dins, I have the baddest thing. And I said it to Dins. Dins was like, meh, novelist up till this day, Dins doesn't like the song. We'll talk about that after. Dins doesn't like the song up to now. But when I sent it to Jelani, I sent it to Jelani and Dins. I was like, that's the idea I have. Blah, blah, blah. Jelani was like, where are you going with that? You're saying so many important things, and you have it at that tempo. Nobody is going to hear what you're saying. All the important things you're saying going to get missed.
Right.
And from that, I was like, okay, I'm willing to slow down tempo. Slow down the tempo and catch the groove under that. I was like, what? Like, it's something Booyah maybe, I wouldn't say it hasn't seen, because, when WCK had the hour night
Yeah,
and
back
all
in the
of
days,
these songs at that tempo. But there's something about the modern tempo, the modern Booyah at the hot rate tempo that people wasn't seeing lately.
Yes.
And to do that and then throw something that was just lyrically out of this world. Anibiola was on a different level lyrically. That just was it. Donnell mixed, and I think he mixed the song. Donnell mixed and produced this song with the band and never liked it. So when you're talking about my tempo problem, you have to talk about why Donnell didn't like it.
Yeah, Donnell. Why didn't you like the song, Donnell? Yeah, big tune.
At the time, I think it was a thing about. I thought that after the hurricane happened, and the carnival season coming up, I was checking like we need something hot, nothing about love. So when Sheldon said,
Typical.
Yeah, he just take care of that.
when Sheldon sent it, I was checking like I don't want to disappoint my partner. I'll tell him, yeah, it hurt. It hurt. So then some days passed, it actually slowed down. I say like, wow, that even worse.
Wow.
But I actually produced that up. We were up at Jelani's house. Jelani had to get a generator for everything to happen, and after 12 I passed in Um,
Curfew
the
police.
the curfew. After the curfew, I know that my home. I
Breaking
live
curfew.
in. I live
Breaking
in.
cable
I
season.
live in Jelani house after 1 in the morning, walking down me alone.
Wow.
Me alone.
Curfew.
So,
Please back.
And
but
that's the thing.
when it came out, it actually grew on me. I don't know, like it grew on me.
Yeah, but
That's one of my favorite songs now.
Yeah, it's definitely. I from I heard it, I liked it because it was just different right off the bat. You know what I mean? And we're in an era where everything was just 160, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it was a breath of fresh air, and the story apparently the story even stronger than the song itself. I just feel like, I was writing this song on a plane, get
right,
um get to my place a few days after I stopped working on it for a while. The hurricane hit, then the band equipment get damaged, whatever. At that point, we start to feel like we have to contribute something to the psychological well-being of our people.
right.
And
Yep.
and
at
you don't
that
want to
point,
mention the word Maria.
we already know what's going to happen.
Mhm.
Bands and artists going to start singing about Maria, come
Maria,
and be
Maria.
Yeah.
strong,
Oh
and
yes, for sure, for
so,
sure.
so we challenge ourselves. I think Anybody Will Love was the song at that point to resonate with the people. We
Yes.
could have done it. I was like, we're going to do that song without mentioning Mario. We're not going to mention Dominica. We're not going to mention 2017.
Hmm.
Nothing that you did. Our idea was to make it a timeless song.
Right.
Yep.
Out of the box.
Right.
He's a timeless
Wow.
song.
It is a timeless song, but Donnell doesn't like it. But it grew on
I
me.
like
So
I like it now, my God. I like it now.
You talk about the story of the song being more, more meaning more than the song itself. You guys ever thought of maybe a documentary sometime in the future? Or maybe you guys have video from 10 years back leading up to today. You know.
yeah, definitely. We actually thought of one for our 10-year anniversary, but we still think that maybe 15, maybe 20, but maybe
All right.
15. We're trying to get a special number and have enough in our archive to talk about. And I think the pandemic would be a good moment in that documentary to talk about. And I think if we had done it at 10 years, we would
Hmm.
have realized that Jelani always says something that he think the band start like 5 years ago, even if we like 10, 11 years ago. I'm old.
Right.
Yeah.
You think that we
Right.
only really start taking ourselves serious. Not even
Serious.
people
Right.
start taking us serious. We only start taking ourselves serious like 5 years ago.
Right.
At first, we in school, we freeing up, quote unquote, and to the point that we didn't even have a mission. Or we told ourselves growing up, starting the band, that we're not going to play booyah music,
Hmm.
and that, like, what we mean by that, you know,
Right.
and that like
Yeah.
that just means that we didn't have a plan because we didn't know why we wouldn't play booyah music,
Mm-hmm.
and one day we figured that we have to step up to the plate, and if there is something that we want to change about booyah music, we have to be the part of that change.
Right.
And I remember we were playing every soca song from Pump Me Up, all aboard. Like we just think like we were
All the old
Edwin,
schools.
Edwin
Yeah.
and Perspire.
Trendsetters.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, before we let you guys go, because we're like over time, but I'm sure the people don't mind. Um, we had Gordon Henderson here. I think the first episode of the second season, and he mentioned something about Booyah being at one pace, and a lot of us know that that's not actual, right? There's slow tempo Booyah as well, but he had a statement to say that he feels like it should slow down, and this new kids are just bang bang bang. You guys want to touch on that? You have anything to say, like the older people that would look down to you guys and think that, oh, it's just a bunch of racketing noise you guys are making?
Well, before Sheldon goes on and gives his musical side of that explanation, I would say for me, I like to, when the band work on projects and stuff, I like to stay away because I always tell them I like to give the view of a fan. So most times I try, I think maybe myself and Liam are the only two people in the band who could really dissect the music from a fan point of view. Because obviously, if you do it yourself, then you won't see from another view.
That is true.
My my take on that is what for courses, sort of, kind of. Where if you're a Booyah band, in our case, we know that between October and February time is Carnival Independence season,
Right.
right? So you know that period of time you have to create that type of music. Then
Facts.
you have a more mellow approach, maybe summer and stuff like that. So I think it also is for courses in a sense that it's not always a bacchanal. I think you just have to know the problem we have is that we don't really see enough music, and we release music almost once a year, which is carnival time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
obviously it looks bad because if you only release your majority of your music during carnival, then what tempo you gonna get?
Yeah, that's what you
So
exactly.
flip side, you look at Trinidad and you look at Voice and these Nadias and the Patches throughout this summer. Look at the amount of love and nice dan hugs and kisses they release. And then you come closer to Carnival in Trinidad. They get a little more direct. They go party mode.
Hmm.
They go music you can play in the clubs. I mean,
Right.
Voice already has admitted that his fans want more tempo from him. Want more jump up because all this lovey stuff cannot always work. So I think for us, our problem is that we don't really see enough music. And obviously, if Signal is the only band releasing music during summer, it will obviously go unnoticed because everybody else
Focus on
is
carnival.
either they're not doing anything or when they release something at the same tempo. So
Right.
I think it comes back again to understanding your market, understanding the whole industry and understanding what you want to do in the music. I think that is important. But for the tempo for us, for sure, we know we have phases. We know at what period of the year we release what. We know at what
Right.
period of the year you cannot tell us nothing about tempo because it's right now it's road with studying. You know,
Nice.
Like now,
so
like
from
now.
so from it's like no, it's road studying. That's what I
Right,
was
Nice.
right.
saying. After that, you have to simmer down and get back into business. Um, so I just think it's just the lack of of releasing plenty music is what is hindering us.
Right.
Because in going and them time and even know what they do is not really road music, and they
That's
release a
right.
lot of timeless music. So the music could be played any time of the year.
Hmm.
And I think that is a problem with us. Sheldon made a point that most of Buyo artists here and bands they 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 sing like on one hand they would either sing about themselves, they will sing about they will call the year they making the song,
Hmm.
they will say Dominic and big up Tarish Pete and Fonkole. So when you have those things in a song, how far can it go?
Yep. You put yourself in a
And
box.
so when we release carnival songs, we already tell ourselves that we don't care what anybody say. We know that is carnival, that is road. Or it's like
Yes.
carnival and road, we understand that to deal with. But if you only release that sort of music for the entire year, then obviously people don't brand you as that. So I think for
Right.
the entire market industry, I think we need to do better. I think people need to, but it has a lot to do with education, and I always stress on Shelly because of school. I'm not saying everybody can be a brain bomb like Shelly, but I think
Right.
when you have basic education, it helps your vocabulary, it helps your level of thinking. And when you
Exactly.
when you when you when you reason with the Trinidad artists, most of these people gone to college. Some of these people have degrees,
Yeah.
and then so then you tend to understand why they make the music they make because they see life differently,
Business.
and that is why
Yeah.
Shelly is who he is, and that's why Signal is that direction because Shelly sees things differently, and it comes with
Right.
education, it comes with outside experience. But
Hmm.
when you have 90% of the people who make music here base their whole thinking on Dominica, then obviously going to be limited. So I think that is the problem with our music that enough guys are not educating themselves, and not just education about music, but general. Pick up a book and read. Go on YouTube, watch
Yep.
videos, expand. And once we
Hmm.
cannot do that, then You're gonna be in this bubble for a little while.
If you can't read, you can't pick up a
Facts,
book.
my brother.
No
Um,
growth.
to
If you
add if
can't read,
what
if you
to
can't
add
read,
if
you can't
what
pick up a book.
yeah to
What?
add if what
Liam,
Jelani
hold
is
on, man.
saying.
Hold on, man. What do you say there?
No, you say pick up a book and read. Not everybody can read. Not all musicians can read, my brother.
Okay. I'm not go ahead. I'm
What?
not go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm not telling you.
to add if what Jelani was saying. Why I would disagree a bit with Gordon is that we also share our culture. Um, for example, when we went to Trinidad and when we went to perform, the atmosphere was like, okay, guys, come and play some nice, groovy, slow tempo music because we're in Trinidad, and this is what the people can connect to. But then, to
Right.
our surprise, everybody wanted bouillon,
Right.
you know, because it's our tradition that we're bringing across, our culture that we're bringing across to
Exactly.
different people. And I
Yeah.
mean, when we started to play bouillon and we saw the response from everybody and how people were getting on, we were like, okay, you know what? We have to focus on what it is that we have. I mean, yes, throughout different times of the year, different parts of the period of the year, that we can switch it up. But
Mm-hmm.
we also have to remember that if we have our culture, and this is what our culture branded on, I mean, we
Right.
want to expose it to the world.
Of
And
course.
sometimes you cannot tell a rap star to change his style
Mm-hmm.
or a reggae artist to change
Yeah.
his style. You
Right.
know, you have to maintain what is yours and you have to expose it to the Caribbean and the world so that when you put it out there, they know, hey, this is where it comes from.
Right. I
Absolutely.
like how you put that. And usually when people send for you, like because they like what you do, they don't necessarily want you to bring what they already have, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah, yeah,
definitely like that. So anybody else want to touch on that? Could go ahead.
yeah. I just wanted to say that, obviously I respect Gordon greatly, all of that,
Of course, of course.
Um, he has taught me a lot on music business, but when it
Right.
comes to music itself, Booyah, Kadas was part of the era of music, or is part of the era of music that is about viewing a performance on stage. And it's a show, it can happen in an auditorium and be executed well and all of that.
Yes.
Booyah has grown to be part of the carnival industry, which I think is underlooked by so many. A lot of people just figure the carnival industry is just a big party and wine and wave and bikinis
Mm-hmm.
with feathers on them, stick
Mm-hmm.
bikinis with some feathers glued onto them. But
Right.
carnival, despite the history is another depth. But the
Right.
carnival deeper than that. So the carnival is an industry that we cannot undervalue. And not
Yeah.
because carnival happens once a year in Dominica, but carnival happens up to 50 times in other
Right.
countries.
And it
And that
generate
is
it generates a lot of venue to the local people as well.
local people, exactly. And that is what, I think Gordon has a perspective where I think he kind of carries down the channel that we are taking by going into the carnival industry because he's seen it
Right.
being like Trinidad. But we cannot really knock the fact that Trinidad works in the sense that it starts at Trinidad Carnival and then it migrates to every other carnival around the world for the rest of the year.
Indeed. Mm-hmm.
Comes back full circle to then
Right back.
Trinidad Carnival and
Yes.
we do it again. So,
Yes.
and by the time, and when they go around the world to other carnivals, they're telling everybody, are you coming to TNT for carnival next year?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they're
Yes.
inviting
Yes.
everybody home, which means carnival is a big industry and it works.
Of
Um,
course.
so yeah, we trying to, yeah, I think it's not, Gordon and them time didn't really thrive on a carnival industry. It was really a come and watch a beautiful show and your beautiful music, and that worked for
Right.
them.
Everything is different now.
Yeah,
And
big
that's
side.
and the market. That's why it worked well for the European market because the Europeans like to sit down and watch music or stand up and view beautiful shows.
Right.
The other markets want to get on fire and let it go.
Yeah, but
But you
surely you
know
have to
what?
remember the side man can't come and watch a show. The side man have to come and see what happened in the place.
Seriously, I'm talking things.
You
So,
know?
yeah, Liam. Yeah, Liam. Talk the
Talking
thing. Talk
things,
the
brother.
thing. We are
No,
not
no,
here.
we're talking about no thing. We're talking about no things that are coming up soon. You know?
That is
So we're
no
talking
thing.
about
Yeah, that is no thing.
no
That's
thing.
past thing.
Yeah, that we be passing that we have dog. That we have.
And then no, the word going and go to the streets. Shelly have a thing about side man, but they don't understand I have this energy around me.
But when she's talking about energy around him, nobody just to big up the rest of the members of the band one time. Darren,
Yes, go ahead and
Gio,
do that.
Hazel, Dylan, Ernest himself does a lot of work, Stasha herself, and just all the fans as well, all the fans.
Also,
who supported the
Stash is
band.
a part of the band.
No, well, she does a lot of work with the band. So
Okay.
We work closely.
yeah, work very closely.
Yeah, I also her front because her front work closely today. Yeah,
What?
yeah, she sang a lot today, and today was a studio day, and I mean it's been a studio kind of season for us. Yeah, we've been in the studio.
Right.
She did the medicine.
But yeah, another
First
season.
dose. She did this first dose before Friday.
But she part of the dose.
Oh, man. Of course, man. I want to thank you guys for joining us, man. You guys made me cry. I've never cried off laughter on the show before, so I enjoyed myself. It was very educational talking to you guys. I like the aim. I like the way of thinking. You know what I mean? Just keep it up, man, and hopefully we get you guys back here with us on Dissect in the future.
Yep.
You know what I mean? After the whole Booyavax thing. So
Yep.
yeah, man. Good luck to you guys on your journey, and yeah, keep it signal, keep it strong.
Yes, guys, keep the vibes going.
Yeah,
that? Sorry.
nobody's on that box.
I just want to.
That's the only vaccine you want.
Good night. We'll see you guys back here next week. We'll see you guys back here next week on Dissect, man. Everybody have a blessed week and a blessed weekend. Godspeed.
Thanks, man.